The biggest reason why people's ad campaigns don't work is not because of the ad, the copy, the creative, the funnel, or even the offer. The reason why is fucking you. You see, I get quite a lot of people booking for consults with me where we'll jump on Zoom and we'll open up their ad account and we'll have a look at the different campaigns that they're running, the different ads. And typically these people they'll complain that either performance isn't consistent, it's unstable. They might have ads that work for maybe 2 weeks to a month, but then all of a sudden performance drops off a cliff. And pretty much every single time people talk about those issues, the number one reason why is because they are inside the ad account every single day doing too much. Every single day, they're opening up the ad account, going into all the different campaigns, the different ad sets, the different ads, they're turning stuff off, they're tweaking some of the copy, launching new ad sets, increasing the budget, decreasing the budget. And they're actually doing too much, and they're not leaving the ad account any time or space to stabilize and optimize. And I was speaking to a friend the other day, and he had an ad campaign that I'd been working on since the back end of last year / the start of this year. And it wasn't working for him. Like, he was still testing out the exact sales process. But then at the second half of January, or towards the end of January, he finally cracked it, right? He had I think it was 7+ days where performance was really good. And he got excited. And what did he do? He doubled the budget. The next day, ROAS dropped through the floor, and he had 2 or 3 days of awful results. And he kind of had to scale the budget back down and kind of start from scratch a little bit. And it was a good reminder that you can't play the advertising game with emotion, right? He'd put in a month's plus worth of work, wasn't getting results. He finally cracked it and he was happy. He was excited. He wanted to friggin' Chad scale it, right? And just double the budget and make loads more money. He was emotional making that decision, when in reality, he should have took it a little bit slower. So what I want to do in this video is explain kind of a weekly routine that you can use to manage 6- and 7-figure advertising campaigns in less than 1 hour a day. And the whole philosophy around it is you can actually make more by doing less. So there's really 2 days in the week that I will go in and make huge changes to the ad account. And for me, that is a Monday and a Thursday. So one of the first things I do on a Monday and a Thursday is scale. So obviously that requires the performance to be going well. But if we've had, from the previous Thursday, if we've had 3 or 4 days of good ROAS and we're hitting KPI, then I will go ahead and increase the budget on a Monday across the campaigns that are working well. And then the same on a Thursday as well. If from that Monday to that Thursday, everything seems to be still working, we will increase the budget if we need to launch more campaigns, and we will scale. So those are the 2 days that I only really change budgets or launch a bunch more campaigns. At the same time, Monday and Thursday is also my cutting day. So these are also the days where I cut losers. So it might be a case of I go into an ad set that is either working well or it's kind of working okay, but there's just maybe 1 or 2 ads within that ad set that aren't working very well, and it's bringing down the overall performance. So on a Monday or a Thursday, I will look at that and I will cut the ads. And then typically, if we have space inside the ad set, I will then launch a new ad variation of what's working. So it could be a new first line of the copy, or it could be maybe a graphic that's working well and just make a tweak to the headline in the graphic, or maybe it's a video that's working well and we'll change the hook of the video. Whatever's working inside that particular ad set where I've turned an ad off, then I will launch a variation of the winning ad inside of that ad set. And then at the same time on a Monday and Thursday, if we've got individual ad sets that aren't working and just nothing seems to be working inside of it, I will also turn those off. So that's Monday and Thursday. And typically on a Monday as well, I will then look to launch a new creative, but I will schedule it to launch on the Tuesday. So technically on a Tuesday, that's when a new ad set inside a campaign will launch. But I'll do all of that work on a Monday. So as I'm obviously analyzing the numbers and the datas and turning stuff off and increasing the budget, and let's say, for example, I turn off an ad set, then I will be okay, what new ad concept or ad angle can we create a whole ad set around, right? Because in each ad set, there's multiple different ads, all focusing on that same ad angle. And I will create that on the Monday and launch it on the Tuesday. So again, most of my work is typically done on a Monday and then Thursday. But regardless of like performance, I will pretty much always launch like one new ad set / creative angle per week. And obviously this can vary on budget, the current performance, how quickly you want to scale, right? If we're trying to like scale fast for a live event or something like that, then I have to break these rules a little bit. But like for a solid evergreen campaign that is running over the long term, we would typically launch like one new fresh batch of creatives a week. And it's all based on a new angle or a new ad concept that we feel like will work. And what that does, it keeps the campaign fresh. And typically a lot of the time, even if you've got stuff that's working inside the campaign, especially if stuff has been running for a little while, launching that new ad set, it can, become the new winner and beat the performance. Sometimes it doesn't work and you'll have to turn it off maybe on that Thursday or on that Monday, the Monday after, or it might just not get any budget spend at all, right? And then if it's been like a week and it's not had any real budget behind it, I'll probably turn that ad set off. But anyway, that's kind of going a bit more into like the detail. The point is that the only times I'm actively going in and making any like significant changes to the ad account is on a Monday and a Thursday. Then the rest of the days, honestly, I try and not touch it at all. Some days, I will go in and have a look at the performance because sometimes you can't help it, right? It's quite addictive. It's like trading stocks almost, where you're putting money out and seeing if you get a return. But I try not make any changes. Some days I just won't even look inside the ad account at all if I'm busy with other stuff. Only if like performance is something's like massively off. Like for example, the other week we had a campaign that was running and it was working well, and then all of a sudden results massively dropped. I can't remember what day it was, but it was on one of the off days. It might have been the Tuesday or the Wednesday. And we realized that it was a worldwide campaign, but up until that point, most of the budget had been going to like the top like 6 countries. But then all of a sudden, for whatever reason, Facebook just sent all of the traffic to Indonesia, Thailand, and then a little bit of India, but it just spent the whole budget on that and we hardly got any conversions. So that was when I went in and tweaked and made some changes, because it was like 1 to 2 days where it spent pretty much that entire budget on countries that weren't going to buy. But that's only in like extreme cases. Other than that, I try and keep it pretty calm and don't like, sometimes in the beginning anyway, I had to stop myself from going in because sometimes it's so tempting to, on like a Tuesday or a Wednesday, open it up and see that one of the ads has maybe dropped to like a 0.8 ROAS or whatever it is. And you're just like, right, I need to turn it off because there's another ad in that ad set that's working well. But what happens is it's like a slippery slope where, okay, I'm just going to make the change today. And then tomorrow it kind of messes it up a little bit more. So you change something else and then you change something else. And before you know it, you're tinkering and tweaking every single day. So I would say like on average for even like a good campaign that, you can be spending, 5 to 6 figures on a campaign, or at least generating, 6 figures plus with a campaign. And it shouldn't take that much of your time. If you like average it out over the week, it can take you less than an hour a day to manage these campaigns. And, if you're a media buyer or an advertiser or an agency and you've got 5 to 10 ad accounts that you can manage, you can do it. But one of the ways, what you have to have in place is some form of structure. If you just go in to the week and the day and be like, fuck it, I don't know what I'm going to do today, but I'm going to look inside the ad accounts and start making decisions, then that isn't very good. The way where you can actually get back your time and still manage a lot of ad spend and a lot of different accounts is if you have a structure. Because if you follow a structure, that also helps you take the emotion out of it. So for example, you could wake up on a Wednesday and you could look inside the ad account. And if you see for that day, for whatever reason, one ad set's like underperforming or an ad has got most of the budget with no conversions, instant reaction is to turn it off. But if you know that your cutting day is on a Thursday, then you're more tempted to just leave it and let it sit for a day. And look, sometimes it still might not be working the next day and you might end up turning it off. But a lot of the time, it might even itself out or it might not be that bad. And therefore, it's probably a net negative to turn it off, because if you turn it off, it could mess up with the performance of the other ads. Whereas if you just leave one of the ads running at like a 0.9 ROAS or something, then it might not bring down performance too much if the other ones are working well. So that's typically like what you want to do. And that is how you can get your time back and manage these campaigns successfully.